This is Farfetch Threads, our people podcast, where you can hear the real stories about life as a Farfetcher.
Hello and welcome to Farfetch Threads, our people podcast. I'm Kyra Maxwell. I work as a success specialist here, onboarding our partners to the platform and supporting them through strategic operations. And today I'll be talking to Tom Barry, our Director of Sustainable Business, on the topic of sustainability at Farfetch and our 2030 goals. Hi, Tom. How are you?
Hi, Kyra. Yeah, I'm really good. Great to speak to you.
Great. Super excited to talk to you today. To kick us off today, what would a podcast about fashion and sustainability in fashion be without checking in on what you're wearing today? I'd love to hear about your outfit today.
What I'm wearing? Well, I'm wearing my slippers, which I've worn almost every day of lockdown. Yeah, in terms of my kind of sustainable fashion choices, I'm in my nudie jeans, which I think I've also worn almost every day, although I own a couple of pairs. I love nudie, they're great. It's all organic cotton jeans made from fair trade sources, and they offer repairs for life and do a take back scheme. So they're a great brand in that respect. And then, t-shirt from another great sustainable brand, Christopher Rayburn, based in London. He's doing some really inspirational stuff, mainly around upcycling and reusing old materials. And then a jumper I bought in a charity shop, which not sadly from the pre-owned section on Farfetch, which has got some equally nice stuff. But that is my outfit today. So reasonably sustainable.
Very cool. Hitting some different marks.
Yeah. How about you? What are you wearing?
Today, I'm also in my slippers. It's a little cold in my apartment, even though it's a bright, sunny day here in LA. I am also wearing some sustainable denim from Reformation, right here in our backyard in LA. And then I have on, our listeners won't be able to see it, but Tom can see this bubblegum pink Colina Strada shirt that's made from their Rose Silk collection. Which is really cool, making this very similar to silk fabric out of the fibers from like rose bushes. So cool, innovative fabric. And then to top it all off, I have a bunch of vintage jewelry I've collected from vintage shops, as well as my favorite place to shop sustainably, which is my mom's closet. So full thing.
Yeah, nice.
So just to get us started, would you tell us a little bit about yourself and your Farfetch journey?
Yeah, sure. So, I've been working in kind of business strategy and sustainability for about 20 years now, and mixture of consulting and in-house roles in sustainability. And I joined Farfetch about 3 years ago to head up sustainability, and I was the first kind of dedicated hire on sustainability that Farfetch made. Jose always had a kind of strong vision for the company, which had some really good sustainability elements within it, supporting small boutiques, kind of good social impact through that, and matching supply and demand in the industry, was a key part of Farfetch model. It still is today. But, they'd never had a kind of core plan around what they wanted to do to tackle kind of big social, environmental issues in the world. And so that's what I was brought in to do, is a blank sheet of paper, which was really attractive from a personal development career point of view. And an incredible opportunity to work for a really innovative company in the world of fashion. So it's been great. I've obviously learned a lot in 20 years about sustainability, and I feel like I'm really able to apply it at Farfetch. So it's good.
Yeah, it's a cool career. Definitely something that I can aspire to, look up to. But Farfetch, coming here, being our first sustainability hire, obviously we're a little bit different from a lot of other industry players. So I'd love to hear you speak a little bit to like what you think makes Farfetch unique in terms of our sustainability efforts.
Yeah, look, it's a great question. I think every business is different in terms of how it should approach sustainability, and Farfetch is no different in that. But what makes us unique in terms of what we do on sustainability is the same thing that makes us unique as a company. We're a platform company. We're a platform for the luxury industry, and in our sustainability mission and strategy, we are leveraging that platform vision and strategy. We want to be a platform for good in the luxury industry, and we call our sustainability strategy Positively FARFETCH. And deliberately call it that because we want to enable everyone we work with. That's what a platform does. It enables the parties that it works with. And we want to enable those parties, so the brands and the boutiques we work with, the consumers that we work with, to think, act, and choose positively. It's a kind of unique to us because we're unique in the industry in terms of the role that we can play in our business model, and then the pillars of work that we have under that strategy. So we have a pillar of work around enabling kind of e-commerce to be cleaner. We have a pillar of work around more conscious products, and that's unique to us. Not saying that no other retailer sells conscious products, but because we're a marketplace, we have such a massive selection of brands. We have a pillar around circularity because we can enable circular services for ourselves, but also for the platform partners we work with. So there's a whole bunch of ways in which we're unique, but it's driven from the fact that we're a platform company, which is what makes us unique in the first place.
No, definitely. It makes a lot of sense. When I first came to Farfetch, I was really excited about kind of our unique perspective on sustainability, the uniqueness that we are bringing to the table as a very different player than a lot of the major ones in the fashion industry. As this big marketplace player, we're not a wholesaler, we're not a retailer. We fit into our own little niche. So I think it's cool that we're kind of embracing sustainability and looking at it at a slightly different lens as well, and bringing that perspective to the table. However, as a platform, obviously we have a pretty limited control over, supply chain. We're kind of very much at the end of the product's journey between, creation and the customer. We're really that last piece of the puzzle. And supply chain is a big aspect of the sustainability conversation within fashion. So how do you think, pertaining to that and other aspects of us being a platform company, what unique challenges do we face, against those unique opportunities because of our business model?
Yeah, so you hit the nail on the head. We have to look at those kind of things differently, and sometimes there are challenges. The challenge of having limited visibility on the supply chains piece. The approach that we've taken on that is about championing the conscious products that we have on site through the power that we do have, which is incredible reach to a consumer base across the world, and also an incredible reach of brands. So we have 3,500 brands. So we've inherently got more kind of better product, more conscious product on the site than any other luxury retailer on the planet, and we can reach the kind of luxury consumers with those, and we hold amazing data about that kind of more conscious consumption. So on Earth Day, we're launching our annual conscious luxury consumer trends report, and that is a summation. Because we have this amazing breadth of brands, this amazing reach with consumers, we can kind of give that knowledge in terms of what all the key trends in the industry are around that kind of conscious consumption, around which countries are driving it, around which brands are kind of winning, around which categories, from pre-owned through to the new, more new emerging brand, how the industry is developing and evolving. We're in an amazing opportunity space for that. So that's just around conscious, I guess. It's kind of big challenge. We don't have view of supply chain, but a big opportunity in terms of what we can actually do with championing the brands which are doing some good things. The other one of the pillars is all around a key challenge which we face, which is climate change. We are inevitably, our model, which is based on distributed supply serving a global market, has a carbon impact. Kind of moving stuff around the world has an impact, and so we have to address that challenge, which is why we've committed to be climate positive by 2030. So not only do we want to get to kind of net zero, we want to use the platform capabilities which we have to help other people reduce their carbon impact. So yes, reduce it ourselves, yes, offset the kind of remaining carbon emissions we have, but also help others to reduce it. So there's loads of both challenge and opportunity in that kind of cleaner pillar, which is good. It's kind of good. It's a kind of, there are always problems to try and solve, but they're kind of good problems to have in some ways.
Yeah, makes sense. I think it's these really hard challenges make for really exciting opportunities as long as we're willing to kind of innovate and be a leader in terms of thought and also in terms of action. So very, very exciting. Great. And Tom, we've been, touching on this here and there, but could you speak a little bit more directly to, here at Farfetch? Obviously, I know, but our listeners might not know the pillars of our Positively FARFETCH strategy and what elements of them that you're the most proud of.
Yeah, sure, no problem. Like as you say, I've touched on the conscious, the conscious pillar, which is all about enabling more positive choice for both our consumers and our brands. And there's a bunch of things which we can do on that, and engaging those consumers in the kind of conscious edit. I think it's been great. We've seen like significant growth. The conscious collection sales of the conscious collection through the marketplace have grown more than 3 times faster than the kind of average growth of the marketplace, and we're growing. The marketplace is growing significantly anyway, so kind of to grow in addition to that is fantastic. I talked a bit about the cleaner pillar and the kind of climate work which we're doing. I guess the thing which is most people who have shopped on Farfetch, if listeners have, that they may have seen is a kind of consumer promise which we made, which I'm really proud of, which is what we call climate conscious delivery, which is the commitment to offset every single delivery in return, like carbon emissions from every single delivery in return we make through the platform. And that, it doesn't negate the need to reduce the carbon emissions which we have. We're working really hard on making it really efficient and maximizing the work which we can do to reduce the both scope 1, 2 and 3 carbon emissions that we have, but actually committing to offset what is our biggest chunk of carbon emissions has an immediate positive impact in terms of climate change. So I'm really pleased about that, and it's a great consumer promise to make. The other thing which, or the other 2 things, so the other 2 pillars which I haven't really touched on, one is circular, and in that's all about what we can do to reduce waste in fashion and extend the life of clothes. That's a key issue in the fashion industry as a whole. Production of clothing in the last 15, 20 years has gone up dramatically. Utilization of clothing has gone dramatically down. So whatever we can do to extend the life of the kind of existing materials and clothing in the industry is key. And we've done some really exciting things in that area in the last 18 to 24 months. So we've launched a resale service called Farfetch Second Life, which any consumer can go on and resell a handbag which they have and get an immediate price offer for it up front, and it's kind of luxury seamless service. We also offer a donation service, which is kind of an elevated donation service in terms of the fact that it's really easy to clear out your closet. So you order a bag, you fill up your bag, but you also get some value back from it. So we're working with a partner in the UK called Thrift Plus. They take it, they sell the product, 1/3 of the money goes to charity, 1/3 comes back to you as Farfetch credits, and 1/3 goes to Thrift for running the service. The charities actually get more money than they would get if you were delivering it to a charity shop door, because typically they only make a 10% margin, whereas in this model they're making 33%. You get some value from it, so you're encouraged to look after your clothes, and a partner, a startup business that has come through our accelerator program, also gets to kind of thrive. So it's kind of great model from that perspective. So yeah, I'm really, really proud of the secular services which we have. And then the last pillar, which really pleased that we added at the end of last year to the kind of Positively Farfetch platform. We've always done a lot of work on diversity and inclusion within Farfetch, and there's still a lot more to do and still focusing on it. But we added it as a pillar to our Positively Farfetch strategy, because we wanted to commit to leadership in it, and leadership in it in the fashion industry as a whole. So about trying to do some things that will actually drive significant change in terms of underrepresented minorities, support for Black designers or other minorities on the platform through the brands that we enable, and also through the kind of marketing and activities that we do through the marketplace. Look, I think that's a really exciting opportunity, again, because we have such great reach, breadth. We're a global first business. We have this massive representation of brands. We're an enabler in the industry, so the kind of ability to drive more inclusivity in the industry is a really exciting opportunity, I think. But yeah, what's been your favorite thing that you've seen in sustainability. Like, it'd be good to know from your perspective. Like, I obviously live it and breathe it every day, so it'd be great to know what you've seen as a Farfetcher.
Yeah, of course. You know, it's funny for you. It's probably like, you know, asking your favorite would be like asking you who's your favorite child.
Yeah.
They're all like so important to you. Similarly, I have a really hard time picking a favorite. You know, I love our conscious edits. I love that not only can I see the exciting stuff that, you know, existing brands are doing in terms of, you know, the big push we just did with Gucci off the grid, you know, seeing that kind of stuff be elevated from these bigger brands, but it's also one of my favorite ways to find emerging designers, these smaller brands that are really up and coming, but really centering from the jump on sustainability and prioritizing that. That's cool. Definitely the one that's the worst for my bank account and my wallet. Because I see something and I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. I need it. So I do love that. Of course, I'm really, really excited about the Positively circular stuff. I haven't yet used any of those personally, but I think it's really exciting. You know, I think there's a lot of different ways in which I like to shop sustainably, whether that be, you know, resale, pre-owned stuff, whether that be brands that are centering on sustainable production, or whether that be kind of keeping things in my closet for longer, you know, when I make those investment pieces. So it's really exciting to me that we have like Farfetch Fix now. So when my, you know, more expensive shoes and bags start to get a little bit of wear and tear because, you know, I'm loving them and I'm wearing them and I'm using them, I'll know that I have a place that I can trust to send them off to get repaired. And then when I'm ready to maybe, you know, get to the next bag or move on from something, being able to then, you know, resell it through Farfetch and then go and turn back to our, you know, pre-owned or conscious edits and be able to get something new, it really does create this whole circular economy that's kind of within Farfetch, which I think is really, really exciting. And I can't wait, you know, to continue to use that and keep being in that circle just at Farfetch. And then I think it's, you know, I can't not touch on the inclusivity. I think it's so important. It's been really important to me as a Farfetcher to watch us really lead and put that at the center of our mission, you know, along with all of our other sustainability stuff, because I think it can often be overlooked in conversations about sustainability. But the fact that we're prioritizing that as this platform that does have influence to make people, you know, make brands, make other players in the industry not only make these more sustainable choices, but be making these more inclusive choices and like bringing that diversity into the conversation, because I don't think it's a genuine sustainability if you're not having that conversation as well. So that's a long-winded way of saying, I guess, all of them.
That's good. It's great to hear.
Because it's really truly, I think what you've come up with is it's an ecosystem of sustainability. I don't think that one piece fits without the others, you know?
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, you've nailed it really. Like, you've tried to put together something which is a holistic proposition for our consumers and our brands and our beauty. You know, it's something which we deliver through the marketplace, but also, you know, have the opportunity to support our partners in doing the same thing. So I'm glad you like it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So that's a great transition into my next question, which is that at the end of 2020, we announced our 2030 sustainability goals. We've been kind of talking around these here and there, but could you tell us a little bit more directly about our ambitious 2030 goals, and what do you foresee as being some of the specific challenges and opportunities to those goals?
Yeah, so we, the strategy didn't change, but I always knew we didn't have any kind of end goal. We knew we wanted to drive more sales of conscious products. We knew we wanted to deliver services, more circular services, which helped extend the life of clothes. We knew we wanted to become more inclusive as a community and as a platform. But we didn't have like an end goal. Like, we didn't have a kind of, well, how much of that should we do? Like, how big should it be? How ambitious should we be? And it's fairly normal in sustainability circles to set longer term goals. Sustainability challenges tend to be, they're urgent and imperative. You need to do something now, but they like the outcomes, what you're looking at is longer term kind of how the future can be and the kind of longer term change. So it's not unusual in sustainability to set longer term goals. And so that's what we did. And we set one simple goal per pillar, wanted to try and keep it focused. Those are the things that we can have a real material impact on. So we set 4 what I believe are really good stretching goals under each pillar. So on the cleaner pillar, we set the goal to be climate positive. On the conscious pillar, we set the goal to sell 100% conscious product. So 100% of products which are independently recognized or certified as being better for the people, planet, or animals. We set a goal to be more circular than linear. So that's about both selling more circular products, selling more pre-owned or upcycled or recycled products, but also uses of circular services. So those should outweigh the numbers of products which we sell, which are made in a kind of more linear fashion. And we set the goal to be a leader in conscious inclusion. I'm excited by them. It kind of sets the ambitions for us, like we know where we want to get to, but hopefully also helps us set the ambition with the partners that we work with. And lots of people from the brands that I work with in the industry are fully supportive, and lots of them are already working towards similar goals. So hopefully we can do it as an industry, if you see what I mean.
Yeah, of course. It's very, very exciting. Some big goals. Definitely, it's going to take, a lot to get there. And with that in mind, how do you think, this isn't something that you, Tom Barry, can do by yourself. You get us from point A to B all alone. So what do you think that Farfetchers can do in their day-to-day roles to get more involved with Positively Farfetch to kind of progress us toward these 2030 goals?
Yeah, no, absolutely. Definitely can't do it as me or the sustainability team. But maybe I can turn that question on you. Like, how do you see your role in it? You're in a particular bit of the business, and I'm hoping that all Farfetchers can get involved. So I'd love to hear from you. Like, how do you see your role contributing towards the Positively Farfetch mission?
Yeah, turning it back on me.
Then I can answer how I
of course. So as I said at the very beginning, I work on one of our partner-facing teams. I work in strategic operations, as well as helping our new partners get up and running and selling on the platform. So a big part of what my team is doing in terms of our Positively Farfetch goals is prioritizing our packaging accuracy. And what that is making sure our partners are always shipping in the smallest possible box. And it seems like a little thing. I think we've all gotten those orders of something online and it's a huge box and like something itty bitty inside of it. Yeah. And you don't really think about it aside from like, this is a weird experience. But, when you're talking about global shipping as you were, or domestic shipping, every cubic inch on that truck, every cubic inch on that plane, on that ship, there's a carbon emission that goes to transporting it. And so if it's a cubic inch of air, that's unnecessary waste that we're creating. So one of the things we're really prioritizing is working with our partners to make sure they're always shipping in the smallest possible boxes to reduce our carbon impact there as we're shipping things across the globe. So that's one aspect of it. Another really exciting one is that getting to work with our partners and with our new partners, as well as our existing partners, we get to develop these relationships and help these, conscious brands succeed on the platform. So, one of the partners I get to work with is Reformation. I'm wearing their denim today. Yeah. And so it's great to be able to, work directly with these brands who are prioritizing, sustainability in their business model and how we can collaborate with them as Farfetch, whether that's through different initiatives or marketing or just showing them in our conscious edits. And then using those as like a business case to show, some of our brands that are just migrating to a little bit more of sustainable choices to be like, hey, like look at the lift that you can get in orders if, we're prioritizing a little bit more sustainable stuff. So there's a few different areas that I definitely touch upon the sustainable goals, even though I'm very far from the sustainability team specifically. And so I think there will be more for everyone at Farfetch.
Yeah, like, I mean, it sounds perfect. Like the box example you gave is fantastic. Like a tiny change in the use of boxes can have a massive impact when you're shipping hundreds, thousands, millions of products around the world. And then like the brand, even on the brand example you gave is great. Like it's just kind of exactly where we need to be from a conscious point of view. Great examples. And I feel like any person in any role in Farfetch or any business actually can if they just stop and think about the kind of things which could contribute to better kind of social outcomes or environmental outcomes, and use whatever in our case, the Positively Farfetch mission and goals as inspiration for that. But there are always ways in which people can get involved. And fundamentally, for Farfetch, we need everyone in Farfetch to get involved and behind it, which your examples talk to perfectly.
Yeah, definitely. And then, of course, I didn't touch on this, but in terms of, conscious inclusion, I think that's something that we've very much embraced as systemic, super important from top to bottom. We're all kind of buying into that. And I think that's super important. Not my, necessarily my operational role, but something that really just touches everything that we're doing in Farfetch, and I think is an important part of a cultural aspect of working here.
Yeah, I mean, almost that, every team recruits. I mean, we're a growing company. Like every team recruits, and having a view on inclusivity and conscious inclusion when you're recruiting is absolutely fundamental and key. So it's kind of like a really good natural example of how people can contribute. So, yeah, it's great.
We're definitely all in this together.
Yeah.
Just as with everything related to our planet and making things better, it's not going to be a single person pushing us forward, but all of us working as a collective. So very exciting to see here at Farfetch. Now that we're coming close to wrapping up, I just have one last question for you. A little bit separate from our conversations about Farfetch specifically, but I'd love to hear what you do personally to lead a more sustainable lifestyle.
Yeah, great question. I guess the first thing to say is I'm far from perfect. I try and do the right things where I can. And I guess I've focused on a few things. The energy that we use in a house is a renewable energy contract. The car that we drive is a hybrid. And yeah, try and think carefully when I'm traveling. If I can go by train, or, kind of overland, I will do, although my wife's Australian, so getting to Australia is a bit hard to do without flying.
I don't think there's a train that goes there.
Not yet. So I try to do that. And then, I try and buy better foods, kind of independently certified foods, more organic foods, more local food, that kind of thing. And then now fashion choices I'm much more aware of. So in terms of consumables, I try and buy the right thing. But yeah, as I say, I'm definitely not perfect. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing I would say is just to echo that I'm far from perfect as well. And, I think there's only so much any of us can, as individuals, can do to be, perfect. It's all of us being a little bit better, making those conscious choices in our day-to-day lives. I also drive a hybrid car. However, I drive myself around in LA, probably way too much. It's definitely a car town. I also eat a plant-based diet, so try and reduce my carbon impact there. And then similarly with the consumables, with my clothing, I try and make sustainable choices where I can, try to invest in things that I think I'll have in my closet for, a decade or 5 decades, pass on to my kids or my grandkids. And then my new thing is I'm really into buying a lot of like secondhand furniture.
Nice.
It's nice because it's, cheaper, but also I'm always searching on Facebook Marketplace for new cool furniture finds. I got this like giant mirror secondhand. So I try and prioritize some secondhand, use my glass straws and do the little things that feel like small, easy swaps to just be a little bit more sustainable.
Nice. The plant-based diet, I'm very impressed by that. Has a big impact, and I've tried it and failed. I like my like my bacon and steaks too much.
Hey, it's we're all doing what we can.
Yeah.
And maybe it's meatless Mondays for some.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Meatless every day for me.
Yeah, it's good.
All right. Well, this was great talking to you, Tom. Love to have this conversation about sustainability here at Farfetch. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for a great conversation on today's episode of Farfetch Threads. And thank you to everyone who has been listening. Please stay tuned and see you next time.
Thanks for listening. Make sure you never miss an episode of Farfetch Threads by subscribing to our Spotify and Farfetch People YouTube channel. If you're ready to do what's never been done, visit farfetchcareers.com